I still remember that morning like it's burned into my skin. The smell of cinnamon toast, sunlight slanting through our kitchen window, my hands cupping a belly that held more than just a baby. It held every dream I'd ever built with the man I thought I knew. His name wasn't Glenn in my world. It was Daniel Carter, a big real estate name in Dallas. Slick suits, perfect hair, the kind of guy who could charm a room before he even opened his mouth. And me. I was Elena Moore, interior designer, halfway through my first pregnancy, still believing in Sunday mornings and loyalty. He came home early, sliding his Mercedes into the drive like he owned the sun. Same cologne, same tie. But that morning there was a trace of something else, a perfume I didn't wear, attention I couldn't name yet. He kissed my forehead and whispered, "Good morning, sweetheart." But his heartbeat under my ear was drumming like a guilty man's. I was thinking about sage green paint for the nursery. He was thinking about someone named Brianna, the marketing director I'd only heard about in passing, and how to answer her texts without me noticing. I tried to ignore the feeling. You ever do that? You sense the ice cracking under you, but you keep walking because you don't want to know how deep the water goes. But the cracks started talking. Restaurant bills from places I'd never been. Hotel charges on trips he said were just business. A diamond bracelet tucked behind his shoes. Not my style, not my size. Friends acting weird. His business partner avoiding my eyes. His wife calling less. My world was still dressed in silk curtains and fresh flowers, but underneath it termites were chewing through the beams. One afternoon, sitting in our baby's unfinished nursery, I realized I was done guessing. I wanted the truth no matter how bad it hurt. A woman at my prenatal clinic had slipped me a card for a private investigator. "Sometimes proof saves you," she said quietly. She looked like she knew. I took that card home, stared at it for 2 days, then called. What came back was worse than I'd imagined and exactly what I'd feared. Photos of Daniel and Brianna at restaurants we'd celebrated anniversaries in, at hotels where we'd once made promises under white sheets at the Bahamas resort where he'd taken me after our miscarriage. Texts about how he felt trapped, about how she made him feel alive. Financial records of hidden accounts and property transfers like he was building a new life while I was building a crib. I sat in his leather chair holding that manila envelope, our baby kicking under my palm, and something inside me shifted from wife to mother, from victim to strategist. I needed help, not just from anyone, but from someone who understood what it meant to be left holding a baby and a bag of lies. Enter Marcus Reed, family lawyer, ex-military soft eyes with steel behind them. The first time I sat in his office, I could barely get the words out. "I know my husband's cheating," I whispered, "and I don't know how to protect myself or my baby." He didn't rush me. He just said, "Tell me everything. We'll sort it out together." Marcus became my secret weapon. He mapped out Daniel's assets, traced the hidden money, built timelines that read like a crime novel. He coached me on patience, on playing my part while we built an airtight case. "You're stronger than you think," he said one night after I'd shown him another receipt. "We're not just going to catch him. We're going to make sure he can't bury you in the rubble." And in between strategy sessions, he treated me like a human being, not just a client. Adjusted the office temperature so I wouldn't overheat. Walked me to my car at night. Showed up for an ultrasound when Daniel couldn't make it because of a conference that was really another weekend with Brianna. That's when I started believing that men could still show up without hidden agendas. The plan we built wasn't a confrontation in a kitchen. It was a chess game. Marcus suggested a public reveal, a family dinner with Daniel's parents and siblings, people whose respect was his real currency. "He's built his brand on being a devoted husband," Marcus said. "We'll take that mask off in front of his audience." I sent the invitations myself, elegant cardstock with careful handwriting, asking everyone to come for a special announcement about our growing family's future. The night of the dinner, my house looked like something out of a magazine. Flowers everywhere, crystal glasses catching candlelight. My baby bump wrapped in a soft blue dress. Guests arrived smiling, hugging, bringing gifts for the child they thought was coming into a perfect home. Daniel walked in late, hair mussed, eyes darting, seeing his family gathered but not yet understanding. "Babe, what's all this?" he said, his voice a notch too high. I smiled, the kind of smile you practice in the mirror when you're about to burn your old life down. "We've got some important things to share tonight," I said. "But first, let me introduce someone." Marcus stepped forward from the kitchen doorway, every inch the lawyer in a tailored suit, leather portfolio under his arm. "Good evening," he said smoothly. "Thank you for coming." Daniel froze. You could see the gears turning, lawyer, family, wife documents. His mother's face creased with confusion. His father leaned forward, sensing something coming. Marcus started slow, like an orchestra warming up. "Mrs. Carter has been reviewing some financial and personal matters with my assistants. We've uncovered evidence that affects not just her, but this entire family." He opened the portfolio, laid down the first photograph, Daniel and Brianna at an upscale restaurant, his hand on her lower back, her smile leaning into his. His sister gasped. His brother muttered, "Oh, hell no. That's not what it looks like." Daniel snapped, his voice cracking. "She's my employee." I cut him off, calm as a surgeon. "Business meetings that last overnight. Business meetings where you buy jewelry I never received. Business meetings in the Bahamas while I'm at home with contractions." Marcus placed another photo. This time, the hotel entrance luggage in their hands, time-stamped the same weekend Daniel had told me he couldn't attend my prenatal appointment because it was too stressful for me to travel. His mother started to cry, his father's jaw clenched like a trap snapping shut. We didn't stop. Jewelry receipts, hidden accounts, text transcripts of him complaining about my pregnancy and saying he felt alive with Brianna. Each piece of evidence, another nail in the coffin of his reputation. The room went dead quiet, except for the sound of my unborn child kicking against my ribs, like she knew her mama was fighting for her future. "You were planning to leave her," his mother whispered, tears streaking her face. "Leave your baby." Daniel tried again, weaker this time. "Marriage is complicated. Mistakes happen." "Mistakes?" I said, laughing a little, the sound sharp enough to cut glass. "You built a whole second life. You just didn't think I'd build a response." Marcus slid the last photograph across the table, Daniel and Brianna touring a luxury apartment complex. While his wife carries his child, Marcus said evenly, "Your son has been planning a home with another woman." His mother collapsed back in her chair. His brother stood up, shaking his head. The whole family's eyes turned from me to him like a jury delivering its verdict. That was the night Daniel Carter lost everything that mattered, and I stopped being a wife and became a mother protecting her child. The divorce was quick. Judges don't waste time when you walk in with receipts like that. Daniel's family testified for me. His business partner cut ties. Brianna disappeared as soon as the money dried up. Marcus handled the paperwork with surgical precision, making sure my daughter and I would never struggle. Months later, I stood in a nursery painted exactly how I'd imagined: sage green walls, cream accents, sunlight pouring through curtains. I sewed myself. My daughter, Ava Rose, slept in the crib Marcus had put together on a Saturday afternoon. He wasn't just my lawyer anymore. He showed up for doctor visits, midnight feedings, and little league games before she could even crawl. Love grew slowly, carefully, out of respect instead of rescue. But life has a way of circling back. One evening I was in the kitchen making dinner when the doorbell rang. Marcus was upstairs playing peekaboo with Ava. I opened the door and there was Daniel, thinner eyes hollow, wearing a suit that didn't quite fit anymore. No Mercedes, no swagger, just a man holding his own emptiness. "Elena," he said, his voice trembling. "I lost everything. I'm sorry." I didn't say anything at first. Marcus came to stand beside me, Ava on his hip, the three of us framed in the doorway like a photograph of a life Daniel could have had but threw away. And then I laughed. Not cruel, but free. A sound that rolled out of me like sunlight after a storm. Daniel's eyes filled with tears as he realized that nothing he could say would open that door back into my life. That's my story. Some people will say I should have forgiven him. Others will say I should have ruined him even more. All I know is I walked through hell and came out holding my daughter and my dignity. Now I want to hear from you. If you were in my shoes, would you have exposed him publicly or handled it in private? Do you think betrayal like that deserves public reckoning or quiet exit? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what you've seen, what you've lived. Because these stories aren't just mine, they're ours.